Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Gridiron Gals podcast. I'm Rita, the NFL chick,
And hey, everybody, it's Chelsea, aka Chelsea's right.
and Happy New Year to
Happy
everybody. Yeah,
New Year.
Happy New Year. We hope you were safe. We hope that you had your black eyed peas and cornbread and greens and football and
Hmm.
basketball, whatever it is that you indulge, bowl season, whatever it is that you do during the holiday time. We hope that you enjoyed all of that. And we were off obviously for Christmas break because it's holiday time, but we back in business. So
Yeah.
uh, we are at the week 18 portion of the NFL season, Chels. But before we get into that, we still got to recap what happened last week, man. We got to
Hmm.
recap the Beyonce Bowl, honey.
Yeah.
The Beyonce Bowl did what it was supposed to do. So I was there in Houston. I saw it live. Chels was there and her, at home watching it. So we got two different views of it.
Yeah.
What was it like for you watching it at halftime?
So I'm always bracing myself when it comes to the Creole. I'm always just like, girl. And so I was like, now, is she getting ready to release a song while I'm watching this performance? I don't want to miss something. So, but I was well, one, I was impressed with how quick they put it together because I thought I had a little bit of time. And baby, they rolled that thing out quick, quick,
Real
quick, quick,
quick.
quick, 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 quick.
Real
I was
quick.
like, oh, they don't need no setup time. So that part was interesting to me. But it was just seeing it look like a Super Bowl halftime show. Like it was she put as much thought and care and curation into this as she would a Super Bowl halftime performance, which is absolutely what a Virgo would do, which is absolutely 100% perfection every time. And I enjoyed the whole thing. Cowboy Carter is we played it out. I don't think we played it as much as Renaissance, and I think because Renaissance, I just played it all in order. So Renaissance was like one continuous song to me, whereas Cowboy Carter, you got your favorites, you skip over whatever, but it's still a phenomenal fucking album, no matter what nobody says. It is a phenomenal album. So I loved every part of it. I especially loved and love how she uplifts her people,
Yep.
and particularly black women. So I was happy to see sisters in country music that were there, that were able to sing with her. Shout out to Tanner Adele because that's my favorite. And yeah, I was having a good time with watching that performance.
And shout out to Brittany Spencer, Baltimore's
Baltimore,
own.
yep. Hmm.
She was in the building. Listen, this is the second time I've seen Beyonce at a sporting event. Both times that the Ravens were in. The first time was the Super Bowl. This time was that. So right now Beyonce is 2-0 at sporting events when the Ravens are there.
So
So
she's allowed to come to the
she,
Ravens game.
yes, she is. Unlike you, friend, she is allowed to be there at the Ravens game. Listen, I love Kendrick Lamar. I'm sure he's going to kill it. I am sure he's going to bring the house down for the Super Bowl. I want Beyonce though. I'm sorry. I just want Beyonce. I want Beyonce. I wanted more. And look, I know that the tour is getting ready. She's probably getting ready to drop some dates soon for a tour. And we're gonna go see that. But I want to see more tidbits. I want more tidbits. We didn't get the visuals for Renaissance. We didn't get the Renaissance movie. We can't watch that. So I want more tidbits, Beyonce. Why you can't come and do the halftime show? That's what I want. I want more Beyonce because she was fucking phenomenal. And my mom had never seen Beyonce before. And my mother is one of those people that's like, I mean, she all right. I mean, y'all just be pumping her up. And I was like, Beyonce gonna make a believe out of you. So when I found out that they were performing, and she was performing for the halftime show, I said, "This is your moment." I
This is
said,
time. It's
"I
time, Miss
said,
Wanda. It's time.
you going it's time to jump onto the other side." I said, we all at one I said, some of us at one point was you, and then you had no choice but to just
Hmm.
say, I'm
Hmm.
in the hive. You don't have to be in the hive. You can be in the honey pot. The honey pot ain't as crazy as the beehive. They just people that love Beyonce. I love Beyonce, but I'm not in the beehive. I'm in the honey pot because a
Hmm.
little y'all out. It's a lot of y'all in the Lulu, okay, in the beehive, and I don't want to be that. But I love Beyonce, and I told my mama she about to be in the honey pot. So of course, when it was over, she had a blast. She thought it was phenomenal. I said, I told you that she was gonna make a believer out of you. Now you got to go to a show. You got to
Now
see
you
three
got to
hours of it.
go. You got to see 3 hours of it, and when it's over, you got to be like, "Is that it?"
Yep,
Like the lady will perform for 3 hours, and we'd be like, "Well, wait a minute, you
yep.
is that it?" And it's funny you said that because I definitely was not in the hive. I actually used to be a little bit of a Beyonce hater up until
Yes.
I think Formation, whichever one came. I think once she became, I think the Beyonce album, whichever album that Love on Top was on, because I like
Think that
certain
that's
songs.
four. I
That's
think
four.
that's
Okay,
four.
that's when I put in my
Or
application.
Sasha Fierce. Yeah, but you put your
I think
application
so.
in.
That's when I put in my application for the honeypot, and I said, "Well, now wait a minute." And then Formation Tour is the first tour that I went on, and I was like, "Oh, now I see."
Mhm.
Like at first I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, this album, okay, good." I like grown Beyonce. Like once
Me
she hit
too. I love grown
75,
Beyonce.
me and her was rolling. And now the lady, I have to get another job because I know this tour is getting ready to hit me across my head, and I know I want to travel for it, but I'm gonna do it.
Yep. Yep. You gonna pay that money to go see her.
I'm gonna
It's
pay that
gonna
money,
cost you an arm and a leg, but it's gonna be well worth
worth
what the
every
fuck it is.
dime. It's gonna be worth every dime.
Absolutely, 100%. I can't wait to go see Beyonce. And listen, I mean, we having a conversation about Beyonce like on a football podcast, like the football game didn't actually happen. The football game was terrible, okay? And this is
It was a
somebody
terrible game.
who is a Ravens fan. Lamar Jackson was phenomenal. I
Mhm.
mean, but that's what he is majority of the time.
Majority
You
of the
know what I
time.
mean? So that happened. That was going to happen regardless. How
Mhm.
bad CJ Stroud has looked is crazy, and then to not have Tank Dell there made
Yeah.
it worse. But ultimately, the one good thing that happened about that was seeing Beyonce. So, I mean, for me as a Ravens fan, I mean, by the third quarter, Chels, I'm walking around, seeing people
Yeah.
from home and
Yeah.
meeting up with
Yeah.
people. I ain't even
Yeah.
watching the game no more because the game is over mid third quarter. It's over. It's
It was a
probably
done
over
deal.
before that, but it was really over. And so I'm meeting up people with people at this point, and I'm talking about the Beyonce Bowl. I ain't worried about nothing that's going on that field because I missed the Mark Andrews long pass. I missed the Lamar run for the touchdown because I was just a frolicking around, getting up with my friends, getting up with folks that I knew, all that other stuff. Shout out to my guy Vontae Leach, former Raven. He got me up into the club suites, and we was hanging out and chilling. I was hanging with him for a while, but yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that game. I mean, look, I came to see the Ravens because I was already going to that game prior to Beyonce saying she was going to perform. But that just added. Thankfully, she did that. She saved me. She saved
Yeah.
the game
She
because
saved the game because other
otherwise,
than that, you would have to just go to find the happy hour. Go
oh,
find the
I went
after
to the
party.
with the suite. That's where I went. They got like
Oh
a nice
yeah,
little bar there. So I went to the happy hour and was hanging out with everybody else at that point. The
yeah.
Texans fans that had come to with their fate sealed, they knew that their game was over, and the Ravens fans that was celebrating. So I had myself a good old time. But I thank Beyonce for the time. I thank Beyonce. Thank you, Ravens, for winning. Don't get me wrong. And the way that you won, because you ain't allowed zero offensive points. I'm going to take that all day, particularly when your defense has started the season the way that it did. Hey, I'm rolling with you.
Right.
But Beyonce saved it. Thank you. Thank you, Queen, for
Yeah.
saving
And
Christmas.
child, she also pissed a lot of folk off. I don't
What part?
understand. So, I don't know what it is about seeing a very happy, healthy,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
well-rounded, capable, loving black woman that makes people so angry. But
Yes, you
like
do.
people were like, "It's no way, she's overrated, she's this," by people, you know who I'm talking about. Mostly, hey, white women, I want you to get over your hate of Beyonce. Stop it.
Well, then that would lead to getting over your hate of black women, and I don't think that because what we always gonna do is shine, baby, like a
Well, and that
diamond.
lady is gonna shine, and she gonna shine, and she brings nothing but happiness and joy. It reminds me of another black woman that y'all was hating on. But I was like, just listen, you are telling me that you watched a bad football game and got mad at Beyonce. You could have turned the channel. You
That's all you.
knew
It was
Beyonce
on
was
Netflix.
the
You had to go
world.
to the Netflix app to go watch it. So
You had
you're
to make
first
an
fan.
effort. You made an effort to stick around for a halftime performance in a bad football game when there was plenty other things to watch. It is Christmas Day. Go watch A Christmas Carol, all
Go watch the
27
NBA. The
versions.
NBA on. Go watch the NBA. Go do something
Go watch
else.
the NBA, go watch anything else. But you sat there and you watched Beyonce because guess what? You say what you want to say in the comment section, but you liked it.
Yeah, yeah. Hate watching, hate following. Get that shit up in
Hey,
2025.
yeah, usually I don't comment to people in the comment section because I don't want them responding back to me. But one dude was like, terrible having Beyonce on it. And I asked him, I said, does your remote control turn channels?
Yeah, because that's all you had to do, shorty, was turn the shit off if you didn't like it. But the problem was it was very, very good, and y'all mad. You mad. You're mad. And I love it. I love when you're mad. Stay mad.
Hmm.
Because what
Love it.
we never gonna dim our light for nobody. So
Oh
shout
no.
out to you, Beyonce, for making bitches mad. And
Yeah.
bitches gender fluid, shorty. Men, women, children, dogs, cats,
All of
giraffes.
y'all.
It
All
could
of
be all
y'all.
y'all. Y'all was
I hope
hating.
I hope your
You
Christmas
it
was
too.
ruined. I hope
Me
she
too.
ruined your Christmas.
Me too.
I hope that all your gifts caught on fire after you watched Beyonce. How
Me
dare
too.
she?
Me too. How
Please.
dare you? Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you for the
Delicious.
27 million who, and half of y'all was probably hating for sticking by it and watching it
How
anyway.
many
So
people, friend? How many people watched?
27 million.
Huh?
27 million.
Huh?
Okay. Good luck to
Huh?
you all. Okay. So I don't want to hear it. But do you think that how did you feel? It was two games on Christmas. Both games were supposed to be good games when you look at the matchup going into the game because all teams are playoff teams that have all put their bid in for a playoff berth.
Mm-hmm.
Neither game was good.
No.
Again, this is very similar to the Thursday night game where people play 4 days later. So both of those teams played on Saturday and then they played on Wednesday on Christmas. Do you like the idea of the league putting games on Christmas? How did you feel about that?
Oh, I do not. I think it's I think it's congesting. Like also, the NFL knows that they dominate, and it's kind of like a bully move
It is very much a bully move.
because we all know that Christmas Day is the NBA's day. That's the NBA's day. I don't think I know that they probably have some logistic explanation as to why they put those games there. But honestly, first of all, the players need to be with their families, okay? And second, Christmas Day is for the NBA. And so it had people split, right? But y'all already know what people are going to do. They're going to watch the NFL, and you put Lamar Jackson and you put Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
Wasn't that the game? You know my days
Mhm.
is all. It was the
Well,
Chiefs, right?
yes, the Chiefs, yes.
Yeah. And so it's just a bully move. I think it's a bully move.
I do
I
too.
don't think it's necessary. I think that we don't need to. We are already saturated with the NFL. We don't need it. Y'all could figure something else out. You already know that in December you start with the Saturday games and all of that kind of stuff. And I just don't think it's very necessary.
This feels very much like a Debo on Friday move when he
Mhm.
snatches the chain from DJ Pooh,
Mhm.
and he was like, "My grandmama gave me that chain because what the hell you gonna do about it?" You know,
Yep.
what if as the NBA, what exactly can you do about it? It is nothing you can do about it. And the NFL is essentially having their way. They are telling the NBA to bite the pillow, honey. They
Yep.
said just bite the pillow
Remember who your daddy is.
and
That's all they
remember,
did.
bite the pillow and deal with it. And I do think it's a dick move, that, for lack of a better term. I am not a fan of greed, and I do feel like this is a move of greed because it's unnecessary. We have football on NFL football on 3 days a week as it is. Do you really and during holiday time, you start adding Saturday games. For instance, there's going to be Saturday games on this coming weekend. So why do you feel like you need to do that? I just don't understand. And I do think it's crass, and I
Yeah.
also think that there's nothing that anyone can do about it because the
No.
NFL is king and they know that they are, and then they know that they can steal anybody's cookies if they so choose. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you should just because you can, but
Just because you can. Just because
you
you
know,
can. And also, so next year, Christmas Day this year
it's
was
a
on a
Thursday.
Wednesday. Next year is on a Thursday. So they're gonna put a game on Thursday.
It's gonna be 3 games. It's gonna be because that's a normal Thursday night game, and now that they've added a third game for Thanksgiving, I don't see how they don't add a third game for Christmas.
Yep.
Don't see how that's not possible. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just what it's gonna be from here on out. I don't love it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I sit here and tell you I don't love it. Yet I was in
We're gonna
Houston,
be watching. Yeah. We'll
at,
be watching.
spending
Yeah.
my Christmas with Beyonce and the Ravens. So there's that. That being said, again, we're at week 18, but the playoff picture is starting to formulate itself a little bit. Now, the Chiefs, we
Hmm.
know, currently hold the number one seed in the AFC. That is done. Currently, the Bills have the number two seed, which is going to stay the way that that's going to be. The Ravens have the number three seed currently. If they win against the Browns, they solidify their AFC North title as well as the number three seed. The
Okay.
Texans have already won their division, so they are the four seed. Then you got the Steelers at five, which I don't see changing. Um, well, it could. It could potentially change because if they lose to the Bengals and the Chargers, who currently has the sixth seed, win over the Raiders, two very likely scenarios, they would then switch places and be the sixth seed. Currently, the Broncos are at the seventh seed. Now, on the bubble currently is the Dolphins and the Bengals. Now, the Bengals, if y'all let the Bengals in, I'ma kill. I swear to God, I'ma kill y'all if y'all
Don't
let
get
the
them in
Bengals
there.
in.
They
Oh,
dangerous. Don't
they
let
are
nobody that scrap
fucking
their way in.
dangerous. They
Don't
are
do it.
fucking dangerous. Do not do it. Now, the Bengals need to beat the Steelers, but then they also need help. They need the Dolphins to lose. They need the Broncos to lose. The Broncos play the Chiefs at home. The Dolphins play the Jets at home. So we'll talk about who we think will win those games when we do our picks, but that's what the AFC is looking like. On the NFC side, this is where the shit gets real interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Currently,
Log
the
jam.
Lions hold the one seed currently at 14-2. But remember, the Vikings are also 14-2. They play this weekend. So they play to not only solidify the NFC North, but they will play to get the one seed. Whoever wins that game will win the one seed because both teams currently has two losses. The Eagles, so at that point, the Eagles, it feels like has secured the number two seed. The Rams, the Rams.
The
I,
Rams. I just
after
woke
all
up
the
one day and
injuries,
they had 10 wins.
hey dog, I don't know how it happened, but it did. They
I
currently
when I saw
have
that, I
10
said,
wins.
"Is that from this year?" I
Yes,
couldn't believe it.
which is so crazy. They are the current three seed.
Wow.
They're the current three seed. At they're the current three seed at this point. The Bucks are currently the four seed, but they have not clinched anything at this point because they're in the same division with the Falcons. And if they lose and if the Falcons win, the Falcons are now the four seed, and then the Bucks are potentially on the outside looking in because of their record.
Yep,
So because the Falcons, remember, swept the Buccaneers,
they
and the
did.
Falcons do not have a better record than the five, six, or seven seed in the NFC. So they would just be out. If they don't win, they're out. Period. So then, yeah, this is a mess. The
this is
NFC is a mess.
the NFC is a mess, but is it possible that we could see Michael Penix Jr. in the playoffs? That's
Very possible.
crazy.
Very, very, very
But
possible. Very
also, the
possible.
boys and girls, this is why you gotta win your division games.
Yep. A
That
thousand
they
percent.
will, that you gotta win again. You win in your division. Like, wow, just sweeping your division could possibly make you knock somebody else out.
And that is why the Falcons is sitting there waiting because they play the Saints while the Falcons will be playing the Panthers. So we'll see how that goes. 5 seed belongs to the Vikings. Remember, I already told you that if they win, they will then win the division and the number 1 seed. And then that would mean that the Lions would be the 5 seed.
Right.
Commanders, 6 seed. The Commanders are the current 6 seed, and the
Yeah.
Packers are the current 7th seed. Now, they could potentially switch if the Commanders lose and the Packers win. But if not, this will stay the same. So, with that said, that is the current playoff picture. Let's look at these weekend's games because remember, this is week 18. So, this is the last week of the regular season, which a lot of shit, particularly in the NFC, is on the
On the
line.
line.
So, couple games on Saturday. We start with Browns at Ravens.
Okay. So I'm gonna pick the Ravens here. The
Yeah.
Browns, yeah, let's move on.
Uh Zap Zap Bailey Zap is the quarterback and
Who?
half of their roster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not even Jameis, shorty. So yeah, we're done here. Ravens it is, win the division. Bengals at Steelers. Remember, Bengals need to win to stay alive. Steelers need to win, who is on a 3-game skid to stay at the 5 seed where they currently are.
So if the Steelers lose, are they
They
knocked
and
out?
No,
Or they
they
clinched?
they've already clinched a playoff berth, but they would potentially move to the 6th seed if the Chargers win.
Okay, so we're talking about the difference between a 6 seed and a 7 seed. I'm trying to gauge how
Five
hard
and
they're
six,
gonna
five and
five
six,
and
five
six,
and
five
six.
and six. I'm trying to gauge how hard they're gonna play this weekend. But what they should be doing is making sure that the Bengals don't get in.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you should be doing. So hey, I'm gonna say the Steelers. I would not at all be surprised if Joe Burrow don't remember who the fuck he is.
I mean, I absolutely think that, but I don't see the Steelers losing 4 straight. I think that's the
4 straight is
only
a lot.
reason why.
Yeah.
The only reason why I don't think that the Steelers are going to lose is because I don't think that they would lose 4 straight. And it's very
Okay.
possible because the Bengals are very, very good offensively. But I'm going to go with the Steelers here just because I think that they try to get it together. All right. Panthers at Falcons. Sunday. This
Panthers
is
are not
the
playing
Sunday's
for
game.
Sunday's games. Panthers are not playing for anything other than ruining people's lives. The Falcons really, really want it. I'm gonna trust Michael Penix here. I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna trust him to win.
All right, I'm going with the Falcons, but I think that the Panthers absolutely are going to try to spoil the party here.
Yeah.
So I can
People
see
enjoy
that.
doing that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. All right, your Commanders at the
My
Cowboys.
who?
I mean, your Cowboys are playing the Commanders. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me. My brain just flipped the switch for a second. Your Commanders are playing your Cowboys. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying this. Your Cowboys are playing the Commanders. I want you to. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My brain just, hey, I don't know what happened there. I just had a brain, the
I
biggest
got
blonde
hives.
moment.
I broke out into hives
You
on
was
my
looking
arm.
like, excuse me?
I broke out into hives. Girl, I gotta take some Benadryl.
Oh my
Tell
God. Your
my
Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, Chelsea's Dallas Cowboys are
Give me
playing.
my dysfunctional team. I own them. They are mine. They're a bunch of dummies, but they are my dummies.
Cowboys beat them in Washington the last time. Do we see it
Yes.
again?
uh we done shut CD Lamb down. Zeke then got released, which
That's
that doesn't
true.
make any difference. And we would just be and the Commanders don't have anything to play for. They have already clinched the division. I mean, woo, sorry, Eagles. They have already clinched the playoff spot. So I think they probably will. I don't see us sweeping them this year, but that would be something.
Would.
But they I don't pick, but I'm just gonna say
Okay.
that there's not a lot for either one to play for, but bragging rights. So we'll
I would
see.
I would have said if CD Lamb was playing, I think I'd absolutely give you guys a much better
Yeah,
chance. But
yeah,
unfortunately, I got to go with the Commanders
yeah. We gotta
here.
save them for when the season really starts, because this season didn't
Yeah,
start.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
Sorry.
believe we won 7 games, honestly.
Hey, listen, you definitely did, friend. So
And,
y'all
and,
look.
and we really came close. We really came close to making the playoffs. That is amazing. Like
Hmm.
two bonehead games probably away from making the playoffs, which would have destroyed my life. Like, what, the playoffs? Get out of here.
Listen. I get it. I
I
completely
can't stand it. I
understand.
can't stand it.
All right, Bears at Packers.
All right, Bears, just shut everything down. At this point, I'm picking the Packers. I don't even think the Bears have enough in their tank to play spoiler.
No, they don't. I agree with you. Packers it is. Bills at Patriots. Hey,
I seen
The
what happened
Patriots.
last time.
Yeah, yeah, and they play Allen pretty well, just generally. So it's
Yeah,
not out of the ordinary. So what we got
yeah.
here?
I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm never gonna pick against the Bills, especially against a team that's really bad. I mean, it's a bad
Yeah,
team, even though it's division. So I'm gonna go with the Bills.
yeah. And honestly, because I think pretty much have the 2 seed locked. I don't even know if you play Josh Allen. So there's
Oh
that
yeah,
part.
no, yeah.
Giants at Eagles. No Saquon to go for the record.
No Saquon and no Jalen. I think Jalen is still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, yeah,
But also the Giants are the Giants. And
yeah.
we will see. I don't know what they could ruin, or whatever. But if there's any team that is good at ruining something for you, it is the Giants. But I'm still gonna pick the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Eagles too. Saints at Bucks. Remember, the Bucks need to win and they're in. If they don't, they are out.
Hmm. So the Saints could really ruin it for them. That
Yes, they
ruining
could.
people's playoffs hopes is real good motivation. I'm still going to pick the
Absolutely.
Bucks because I think the Bucks are a better team. But I would caution them not to go in there being like overzealous, because we know what overzealous looks like, a lot of picks and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bucks.
I'm going with the Bucks too, even though I do think that the Saints will do their best to try and be spoilers in this moment. Texans at Titans.
Titans. Yeah, I don't know. There was a time when I would easily pick the Texans,
Yeah.
but they look a little funny in the light.
Yes, they do.
They look funny in the light. And right now they've clinched. So, you know, I'm gonna pick the Titans, and I mean, fucking shit, I don't
Yeah, who cares? Texans, I guess. I mean, I don't even know if CJ is gonna play. So
care. Yeah.
I would like to think that he would because he played so bad the last time, but we'll see. 49ers at Cardinals.
Are both of these teams eliminated?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think this is a bragging rights type thing. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. For what? I mean, like 49ers seem to be the better team, but I'm gonna go with the Cardinals just because I don't know. I mean, because like who knows what is going on at this point,
Mm,
uh, in the last week of the season, particularly when you have nothing to play for.
nothing to play for,
Um,
right?
Chiefs, who I have to assume are going to sit their people because they got some injuries at Broncos.
It depends on which people we are sitting.
I don't think.
Um,
Remember, Mahomes is. They told us he had a high ankle sprain. Kelsey, I think, has dealt with some injuries. Chris Jones has not necessarily played. So, um, I think that they'll play for a
they'll
little bit and then sit.
and then that's it. So I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and give a little credit to the Broncos. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
They got to do it. They got to win.
They better win, damn it. I'm picking the Broncos because I'm begging for a miracle. Shit, because I
Please,
don't want to see
Jesus.
the damn Bengals in the damn playoffs. And yes, this is the fear that you hear from me. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. So I need y'all to win so we can let Joe Burrow and them sit on the couch and watch at home. Thank you very much. Seahawks at Rams. Seahawks are not completely out of the picture because they are on oh, no, they are
No,
eliminated.
they
I
eliminated.
apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. They are eliminated. They are 9-7, but they are eliminated from the playoff picture. So,
Hmm.
uh, you know, Rams essentially don't even have to do anything, and they got the division. It
And they
seems.
got the division. They don't have to do a thing because they. So
Yeah, if the Seahawks are eliminated, then there's nobody else challenging them in the NFC West, basically.
nobody else challenging them. So I
Yeah.
mean, that is why you win your division games because look at the difference. You talking about a 10 win versus a 9 win, and one and the 10 win already got it locked up. You win.
Yep.
That's because they done beat y'all. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I mean, y'all ain't got nothing else, and I assume that the Rams are gonna rest some people. So
Yep,
I'll
they
go with the
already said
Seahawks.
that they were. They already said Stafford, Puka, and all of them probably won't play. So I am also going with the Seahawks as well. Also and as well, it's not
Hmm.
necessary in that same sentence, but you know what I'm saying. My bad. Chargers at Raiders. Chargers could win and move up to the 5 seed, but they are in the playoffs regardless.
Yeah, I think that Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't care about all that. I think he's going to play them people, and they're going to play him and want to move up in the seating. So I'm going to pick them.
Yeah, I think that they would like to play the Texans more than they would like to play the Raiders. I mean, the
Hmm.
Ravens, excuse me. So they absolutely, I think, would want to move up to the 5 seed. Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins are not out of it. However, Tua is not playing this weekend.
Then they out of it.
So basically, it's up to the Broncos to help us out here.
Brought to the Broncos, yeah. Then they out of it. Um,
You don't trust Tyler Huntley, is basically what you're
uh-uh.
saying.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, New York Jets. It is. I'm gonna beg for the Dolphins to figure out a win, so I'm gonna pick them in hopes that
Yeah.
I'm speaking this into fruition. But I don't feel confident about this at
Well,
all. I
and
just
I
don't.
will say this: Aaron Rodgers potentially his last game in the NFL,
Yeah.
potentially being a loss would be delicious to me.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it would. Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Hey,
Please.
let me flip my pick. Let me flip my pick. I need to put the good juju on it. Come on, Dolphins. Come on.
Send that man into politics the
Come
way
on.
where he want to be. Let's go.
Yeah. Go
Let's make it
ahead.
happen. All
Go
right, and
ahead.
last but not least, done. Well, we still got two game of the week, but the biggest game of the week: Vikings at Lions. Winner gets the number one pick. I mean, one overall seed in the NFC, as well as the NFC North Championship.
I'm rolling with the Motor City Bad Boys. I'm rolling with the Lions. Um, I think it's going to be a high scoring game, though. This going to be NBA number games, but I think I'm going with the Lions, and I am going to be seated and prepared for that game. I can't wait for it.
All right, I think I'm gonna go on the other side, and
You going up and say,
I have no real reason. But
okay,
because I think both are very good teams. But I think that the Lions squeaked one out the last time, and it was a really
yeah,
good game. And this time, I'm gonna go with the Vikings finding a way to squeak it
boy, winner
out.
takes all. Winner
Winner
takes
takes
all.
all. So
That's a
I have,
tough division right there, baby.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is a tough division.
3 out of 4 teams essentially have made the playoffs for the NFC North. So that should be fun. Those are our week 18 picks. Remember, do not use our picks for your parlay unless you want to lose some money, which is not the point of having parlays. So Okay, it is time for the to be game of the week,
Mm.
and it is Colts versus Jaguars because neither one of these teams are doing anything for anybody.
Jack
Joe
shit.
Flacco will be starting as Anthony Richardson is not playing this weekend again against whoever the Jags got going on because I don't even know who's the backup for Trevor Lawrence. Don't even care because the Jaguars aren't fun to watch. So, who you picking?
I'm gonna go with Joe Flacco and the Colts. Go ahead and show them why show them why they keep pulling you off your sofa to come get in these games, and y'all pick Joe Flacco.
I am picking Joe Flacco too. This might be his last NFL game for real. We don't know. I mean, Joe been in the league a long time, and he
Hmm.
might finally decide to go back home to his wife and kids because he's tired of
Yeah,
getting beat up in the NFL. So I am going with the Colts as well. They just got a better team as opposed to the Jaguars, who are really,
yeah.
you know, they just they're just there, and that's really it. So those are our week 18 picks, and we hope that you like them. If you don't, oh well, too bad, so sad. It is time for college football. And of course,
Yeah.
this is our favorite time of the year. It is bowl season. And of course, this is the first year of expansion of the college football playoff. Now, Charles, there is absolutely a conversation that needs to be had here because I don't know if you've noticed this, but the top four teams that were seeded are no longer in the college football playoff. They all lost. Oregon loses bad to Ohio State.
Bad.
Boise State came back around, but Penn
Not
State,
enough.
but not enough. Penn State prevailed. Georgia, Notre Dame did their business.
Hmm.
And so, Arizona State, close but no cigar. But the top four teams are not in the college football playoff. So, is there a conversation that can be had about seeding when it comes to the college football playoff?
I think that there needs to be a conversation. It's hard for me to say that it just needs to be about the seating, because like they don't have, I don't think they ever will have like a consistent formula. Like, um, and this year was a trial run, right? And
Right,
to your
right.
point, and you have been saying this the whole time, y'all never should have went from 4 to 12. That's too big of a jump, and you are not able to predict things, or you're not able to manipulate and play around. You should have gradually expanded. And now you've made such a jump. You got these kids playing three more games than they would be playing. I mean, it's just hard to say. Like, I would have never thought that a 13-0 Oregon would shit the bed like that.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not, it's no knock
I
to
mean, it was
Ohio
bad.
State, but it
It
was
was
bad.
bad.
I mean, the score was 21-0 before we could blink. And so, like, what, I really don't know. It almost feels like if we was gonna do all of this, we should have just been to the bowl, back to the bowl series. If we was gonna do all of this, like,
Oh,
and also
BCS,
like
like the BCS.
BCS, yeah, but also like we want to be entertained, and we haven't seen like how many of the playoff games have been competitive. Like that's what we're here for. We want to see that they are competitive games, and they haven't been competitive either. But I also think that people say, "Oh, this person should have been in, and this person should have been in." Listen, their teams can control if they get in or not. You win, you do what you're supposed to do, depending on who you are, because some can win and do what they're supposed to do and not. We already know that. But like people keep talking about, oh, Alabama could have been in. Okay, well, you saw Alabama lose that bowl game. So stop talking about Alabama should have been in the playoffs so you could watch them lose a playoff game.
Mhm.
So I don't think that it should be that. And I don't think the conversation should be these teams shouldn't be there. But maybe we did too much too fast.
Mhm.
And also it's been a month since the last time they played. Does that have something to do with it?
It's good. I mean, it's a good question. It,
You
it's
know,
it's a it's a fair
a
question.
month is a, I mean, a month is a long time. So I really don't know. I'm hoping that things get better as we're going to the semifinals. But other than Arizona State, really coming back and taking Texas into two overtimes, which Texas should be concerned that they
Yeah,
didn't
because
score
they
any.
had that game once. It felt like they had it in. They were they had it and then they didn't. So uh
Two
yeah,
overtimes. Other than that, everything else was a snooze fest. I mean,
yeah,
you know, mm,
yeah. So for me, it is definitely a situation of um I don't have an answer. I feel like if I make I feel like I made the previous argument that the conference champions should get the top seeds because it does feel fair. But does fair mean right? I think that is where we start having conflict,
yep,
right? Um, life ain't fair.
life
So
ain't
I
fair.
don't know if I don't know if it should be fair. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um, I really don't have the right answer, and I'm glad I'm not on the committee. Because there are teams that I would have been like, yeah, they won a conference championship, but their strength of schedule should matter, and they probably shouldn't be a top four seed. And so like whoever wins the Big Ten, whoever wins the SEC, they should be at the top for
hmm
sure because they're going to have the hardest
the
schedules.
hardest schedules.
Everything else, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. And again, I'm glad I'm not on the committee because again, fair versus right ain't gonna necessarily be the same thing, and
Yeah.
that's what it is, right?
hmm
So yeah,
Yeah, that's
it
the
just
worst job in America right now. The College Football Playoff Committee is the worst job in
worst
America
job.
because literally nothing you do will make this right.
I
It's
agree.
not going to
Nothing
be everybody. Everybody is going to argue every year.
every
No one
time,
is going to like it. Everybody is going to have a bunch of opinions, and none of us can solve the issue.
and that's why we call it arguing time because
Arguing time.
it is
Yeah.
all it's based on semantics, but it's also perception, but it's also subjective. It's a lot of things that, depending on the person that you are, whatever side of that you lean into more. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
again, like we say, I would never want to be in these people's shoes. Good luck to you, everybody over there
Yeah.
on the committee.
I
What
do.
game did
I
what?
want to ask one thing. And this is I was having a conversation about this with some folks, um, and the potential impact of NIL on these playoffs and things like
Yeah,
that. And we talked about it because there was I think you showed me there was a meme where you know how the NFL players announced the college that they went to when during night games, and they was showing one where where it was a fake NFL player, and he announced like five different teams, and it was like basically this is what it's going to be with NIL. But and to be I believe in players getting paid. I do not believe in the profit being made to the schools and not these players. But what impact does that have? Is you got a player that may play on three different teams that's not building relationships and stuff like that, and teams are changing due to NIL and all of that kind
and
of stuff,
transfer portal.
and transfer portal. Yeah, that's what I really want to say. Transfer portal, because it gives you the opportunity to just move around. And I don't know. I do think that there need to be some sort of parameters around all of that. I don't know what those guardrails and parameters should be. I'm not a decision maker. I'm only a fan that can see things different. Also, what is the NFL gonna look like in 5 or 6 years due to that? Are we gonna have the same quality of players? Is it gonna be the same skill level? All kinds of things that can go into it. But those are things I think when the college football playoff committee looks at things, I hope that they will look at things over a longer period of time, because jumping from 4 to 12 tells me you were very short-sighted. But looking over a long period of time, how all of those things can affect, especially some of these big schools that used to see dominating a lot more. And then the conference realignment, like we ain't got no Pac-10, but what? So like now we got a Power 4 conferences instead of Power 5, and like you got to look at all of these variables before you go making the decisions that you make about seating and placement and strength of schedule and all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I think that
Um,
we're seeing GMs now in college, which tells me contracts are coming very soon. And if contracts are coming soon, then you're going to have to be committed to a
Committed to that
school,
school.
and you're going to have to forfeit whatever or you don't or void whatever you don't get if you decide to leave or whatever.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
that part. But
That's a
you know,
that's a fair parameter too.
yeah,
That's a fair parameter too. You should not be able to just bounce, oh, I'm leaving now, It's a lot of reasons why you should stick with your coach and your team and all of those things. So
I
we'll
agree.
see
So
how
we
things automatically, play
the
out.
top 18 the 5 through 8 made it. Okay? So, we got Ohio State versus Texas. What you
I'm
think?
I'm thinking Ohio State.
I'm thinking Ohio State too, friend.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Day can't beat Michigan, but he sure can beat everybody else it
Yeah, he can
seems.
be that.
So, uh,
And them people
so
wanted to find them people wanted him gone after losing that. And I was like, y'all in the playoffs.
they do not care. His
They don't
job is to
care.
beat Michigan, and he did it in like 3 4 years. So they was upset. Okay, but I think that he can redeem himself by getting to a national championship. I think that he moves the needle here, and that is what happens. Notre Dame versus Penn State. I can't believe y'all gonna make me try to believe in Penn State.
I cannot believe that Georgia let the gold helmets through the gate. What is wrong? What? Y'all done let the gold helmets through the gate.
Did
Now I gotta vote. Now it's black on black crime. Now I got to vote. Do people know that James Franklin black?
They do now because
Oh,
apparently there was a post that came out that will be the first time in college football history that a black coach will be in the national championship. So if you did not know that James Franklin was black prior to that, you know now because ESPN posted that. So
surprise. Surprise, he's one of us.
yes.
Um, I shit. I'm actually gonna go with the gold helmets.
Me too, friend. I bet. Listen, Boise State. As much as I love Boise State, I don't think that Boise State had outside of Genty had any players that could challenge Penn State's defense, which is very good. Um,
But Notre Dame definitely does.
I Notre Dame got much better skill players. Unfortunately for me, I am going with Notre Dame in a close game, which means you and I both believe that it will be Ohio State versus Notre Dame in the national championship. So we will see how that goes. But it did. I want to say this felt really good for Georgia to not be there. I
It
don't
felt
care
good,
about the
friend.
excuses.
You
Y'all
liked
wants
it.
to hear, well, like that's an understatement. I loved it. You, Carson Beck wasn't. Well, Carson Beck ain't that good any fucking way. Let's be honest with
No.
ourselves here. Let's be
Mhm.
real. That man ain't that good to begin with. Okay, so
True.
let's start there. Okay, y'all wasn't gonna win regardless. Just saying. So I love to see that had happened, friend. I love that for me. And because my team won their bowl game. I don't care if it was in the college football playoff or not. Yours did not. If you're a Georgia fan, shout out to my man George Foster who was down there. He got to see it live.
Sir.
Oh, sucks to be you. All right,
Yeah.
it is volcano time, friends. So, who are you putting in the volcano today?
So y'all know I've been going the political route when I started putting people into the volcano. And this is somewhat political. It's political in nature, but in general, I am putting in the foreign born people and the others who thought that you were a part of the white culture here and who found out that you, in fact, are not. And I am specifically referring to the infighting that has happened over the last couple of weeks between the MAGA elites and the MAGA base, the core MAGA. And we have seen open infighting between the president-elect Elon Musk versus the other MAGA, like Steve Bannon, who is a rampant, rabid racist, basically saying, "You not like us." And the
Yes.
conversation came over the H-1B visas, which are visas that allow foreign-born workers, particularly like your engineers and things like that, to come to America. And Vivek Ramaswamy, or whatever the fuck his name is, fuck him. He made the comment, and this was funny. It was funny because it was true, right? That you Americans are not educated enough and smart enough to do these jobs. And that's why you got to get the Indians and other born people to come over here and do these jobs. Now, you ain't completely lying because this country does not focus highly on education.
Mhm.
And when they are going to school, you got the people that cheating in school, and you got people buy the rich people that's buying their kids education. Like, you got all kinds of stuff. You have a lot of meddling of uneducated people in educated business, in education business, and so they are not those things are true. um there is a lot of focus on trade school and vocational things here, and all of those things have a place, right? But that's still school, that's still educated. Going to college doesn't just give you the education that you need to get that degree, especially an undergraduate degree. I mean, they basically are all general degrees, but there's discipline that comes. There's critical, that it sharpens your critical thinking skills. It allows you to have better deductive reasoning skills, all kinds of things. So Vivek, fuck him, but he was right. But baby, them people got mad. And see, listen, I'm gonna tell you, he not talking to hey,
He was talking about the
you're not
white
talking to
people.
black women because we know how important school is. So I took myself on out of that. I said, "Oh, he's not talking to me. I'm gonna turn this." But it caused the infighting because what you don't understand, what Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever don't understand is that you are not in the club. The club is the most insidious thing that this world has ever seen, is the white racist culture of America. To the point where the Nazis was like, "God damn, we can't even go that far. We'll take a little bit of y'all, which y'all did, but we can't do all of it. We can't do all of it." Like, this country was built on owning other people, black people.
Yep.
Okay. And they fought, and right now, if you poll these people, they want to bring it back. We don't want no black people having nothing. This is a country where white people will sabotage everything they have to make sure we don't get nothing. Look at the student loans. There's only one reason why people are against student loan forgiveness.
Mhm.
I enjoyed every second of people literally fucking around and finding out. Even the richest man in the world is not in the club.
Mhm.
You are not in the club. You thought you was in the club. This is about to be, I'm going to find my entertainment and my joy any way I can over the next 4 years. And if I have to see y'all eat each other's face off, I am going to be delighted. I am going to watch it on a loop. But what you don't know is you don't know your white folks.
Mhm.
Apartheid South Africa ain't shit compared to what this country has done to black people, for black people and Latino people, Asian people, who y'all might not think they did it to you, but they did it to you over the course
Mhm.
of slavery, Jim Crow, and now, like, the laws are written to oppress us.
Yep.
Everybody else just falls into it. Good luck to you. I'm going to be laughing. You can't buy your way into the club.
Mhm.
and you found that out, and then people hurt your feelings some kind of bad. He on there taking people blue checks away. He on there
Mhm.
shadow banning. You found out that even your money can't buy you into the most racist, insidious, wicked club in the world.
Mhm.
Good luck and fuck you again, Elon Musk. Get into
Mhm.
all of y'all, and not just him, and all of the people who are thought that they want you want to be the foreign born MAGA, and you want to be the others, and you want to be all of y'all can go get in that volcano because you're really about to find out what this thing is all about, and it's all about preserving whiteness and whiteness, American whiteness. Period.
Mhm.
Enjoy,
Yep.
enjoy,
You said enjoy. Enjoy the
enjoy,
projects.
enjoy,
Mm.
enjoy.
Mm.
I know them. You ain't got to tell me.
Oh.
So that is
Oh
my
my.
volcano.
That is your volcano. All right. My volcano is very is not that deep. It really is just the shallow college football fans. Yes, I love the fact that the game is expanding. I'm sure gambling has a lot to do with that. But now
Hmm.
y'all get to seeing so much fun. But my favorite thing is like just jump on wagons, you know, out of the blue, and it lacks authenticity. Let me
Hmm.
say that. A lot of y'all are doing this to be content creators and not doing it to be fans, and I have a problem. I have a real problem with that. What the fuck is real anymore? What is real anymore? You know, I'm not saying that your grown ass can't pick a team and become a fan at 30 plus years old, 40 plus years old, 50 plus. It happens. I don't believe that a lot of y'all are organically becoming college football fans. I believe that you are becoming fans, particularly fans of, teams that like, Dion's team, the Colorado Buffs, and um maybe Boise State or whatever, because you think that you're jumping on an
Bandwagon.
up
Yeah.
and coming team, and you want to be, oh, and you do all this content, and it's lame. And I know nobody's gonna say it, and I probably do sound like a hater. I mean, maybe it is coming from a place of hate. I don't know. I just know that this is how I feel, and I'm gonna say how I feel. And how I feel is that I feel like a lot of y'all are doing this for the content and not doing it for the culture of the sport. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna always have a problem with people that don't do it just simply because they enjoy it, but simply because they think that they can get engagement and more followers.
And that's a good way. I mean, college football is a great way to cause chaos.
Yes. Um, I'm just making the point that you're completely disregarding the fun of the sport when you don't get into the sport in general. Picking a team is fine. Again, I mean, we all have you pick the team, I pick the team. We all pick teams
Hmm.
for various reasons, right? And I'm not saying that people can't become fans overnight. I'm saying that what I'm thinking is that you're doing it because it's an up and coming sport in terms of generating revenue, in terms of viewership, and you want to jump on because you want to feel like you're one of the first you're one of the people that are doing content, and I have a problem with that. I have a problem with it not being real. So
Yeah.
do what you please. I'm not gonna clearly be able to stop you. You're gonna do what the fuck you want to do. I'm just saying that I see it. I think it's lame. And this is gender fluid. Men, women, whatever.
Yeah.
I know the grift. I see it
Oh,
and
there
I
we go.
know it.
That's that. And I was like, there's a word for this. Grift.
I know the grift. I
Grift.
know a grift
Yeah.
when I see one. And
Uh-huh.
I know what it is. And that's what it is.
And
Do
we need
that
to
with
stop falling
hockey.
for it. People need to stop falling for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people need to just move on. Stick with the original folks that you've been rolling with for these all these years. These people don't have the historical knowledge. They don't know what they're talking about. And I mean, they do sound a whole lot like those newfound Colorado Buffs fans from last year, which I'm glad. It was very funny that we didn't hear as much from them this year, and
Oh, they was
Colorado
out
was much
yesterday. They
better.
was out the other day though, on New Year's, because Dan Lanning was talking a lot of shit. and then they got skull drag. And of course, they came out on New Year's Day and was talking shit over something that he said last year, and he wasn't wrong. Like
He was
y'all mad,
absolutely right.
y'all butthurt about Dan Lanning feeling disrespected about his team, who was clearly better than the team he was facing, not getting the love for said reason. And he whipped y'all's ass because he needed to prove a fucking point. I'm not mad at that. Now, if you want to be mad about Dan Lanning, the shit talker, because that's what he is, and he does it all the time, then I can look. Even Nick Saban said, "You get your shit talk. You ain't get that from me. You ain't get your shit talking from me." That's Dan Lanning's personality. He like to talk
Yeah.
shit. That's just who he is as a person. But you and these Buff fans, y'all took that shit personal, and your team was mediocre. I don't understand
They
why
won
you
four
upset.
games last year. He was right. But
He
but
was
I
right.
but they won 9 this year. They shit the bed in the bowl game, but they won 9 this year. And y'all was I was like, well, where is the Primettes this year? Because y'all
I
are fleeting and y'all don't know the schedule, y'all don't know when they play, y'all ain't been keeping up, blah blah blah. I ain't seen people wearing their blenders, I ain't seen people in the sweatshirts, I ain't seen none of that this shit. Now I am not complaining because y'all got on my damn nerves last year, but
me
I haven't
too.
seen any of that because y'all are not sticking to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're not sticking
Right.
to it. Like you gotta stick to it. And teams that are out west like that, they are gonna play at all kinds of different times.
Mhm.
But you don't know how to follow along college football. That's why I'm glad y'all done left us alone. But like, listen, people talk shit. Y'all need to stop being little snowflakes. People are going to talk shit. Coaches are going to talk shit, especially the Dan Lannings and the people like that. They're gonna talk shit. And
They gonna talk
I mean,
shit.
listen, he shit the bed, but he was also 13-1. He ain't going nowhere.
Right. I was about to say, yeah, he shit the bed. And look, yes, it was the biggest game probably, of his career. At the end of the day, though, he was undefeated all the way up until that point. I'm gonna talk my big shit too. And guess what? When I take a doo doo, when I take a big shit like they did the other day, I gotta talk. I gotta say, hey, I was talking shit and we ain't back it up.
And we
Slap the
ain't
fuck
back it up.
out.
We be back next year.
Yeah,
And Oregon got a whole lot of money behind them
sure
too.
do.
Cause
Phil
as
Knight
long
saying
as
I
you got
ain't
Nike
lie.
behind you, they
Phil
gonna
Knight
get the people.
ain't done until we win this national championship. Now I hope this was probably supposed to be the year because Phil Knight like 112 years old. But I don't know. Listen, I'm just saying, they needed to do it this year. Hopefully next year he's still here and with us, and they can try to win one for him. But they got the money to do it. So
They got the money.
I'm just I'm just making the point, like, hey, that's what happens. But I see the grift. I see it. I think it's lame. I think it's corny. I don't do corny and lame shit. Never. Never did it. Never will. So it is. I'm corny. I'm not lame, but I'm definitely corny. But I'm a good corny. Like the
Oh,
funny kind of corny. Not like the bad kind where it's like, oh, that's so corny. I'm corny in a funny way. But I
I
ain't
don't think you're
lame.
corny. I do
I
think you're
definitely
dark
think I
sometimes.
you think
You're
I what?
dark sometimes. You're dark sometimes.
Oh, I love me some dark humor, baby. I mean, one thing
You
about me, I'm a
I would
matador
call
for
you
both.
dark way more than corny. Cause sometimes I'd be like, is my friend a
Uh,
sociopath? She might be a
uh,
sociopath because what would make you think of that? Or what would make you laugh at that? You
I know. I'm
you
working on it.
you got a little vampire in you.
I do got a little bit. Shit that's not supposed to be funny, I do be laughing at. I will admit to that, but I
Man,
am working on
because you
me.
are definitely who I think about when I want to say something real terrible. I'd be like,
Oh,
I
I'm the
know
one.
who's gonna
Tell it
enjoy
to me
this.
because I'm a laugh. I'm definitely gonna tell it. I'm gonna laugh at that shit. It's gonna be funny. So sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, all right. Final thoughts before we go, Charles.
So I the only thing I can think of as final thoughts is sending my our thoughts and prayers and love and strength to the people who were the people and the families who were the victims of the um terrorist attack in New Orleans
Yeah,
on New Year's Eve. If you've been living under a rock, a man drove a pickup truck. He had IEDs placed everywhere. It was definitely orchestrated. He definitely, according to FBI, he was not working alone. So there is some danger associated with that. But 15 people have been killed, and I think maybe 30 or something more were hurt, including children, including, and listen, New Year's Eve in New Orleans, it was packed.
yeah, because
Then
there's
we
a
have the
bowl
Sugar
game there.
Bowl. The
Yep.
Sugar Bowl was and so the Sugar Bowl was postponed for 24 hours because of that. But definitely, it was a horrible situation.
Yeah.
Um, we were on Bourbon Street. I was stayed on Bourbon Street twice last year. We were there in July all together. And so when they showed the footage, I was like, well, who's right there? There's the Walgreens we went to. There's the hotel I stayed at. It's very scary. New Orleans is definitely one of my favorite places, and the people are so warm and welcome and inviting. And, people talk about the music and the food, but the people feel like home. And so I'm so sad that this happened down there. Um, and also sad that it's something that got unnecessarily politicized, because then you take away from the human part of it. The cult members thing, somebody done came across the border. This man was a U.S. Army veteran.
Yep.
U.S. Army veteran. You are born and raised here. These people are being radicalized here,
Yep.
right here in America.
Yep.
So let's cut the shit on that. And so my thoughts and prayers, and I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but I don't know what else to say
Right.
for a situation like that. Um, and one more thing I want to say, and I see this to- te- thrown around a lot, and I've corrected it a little bit on, if you follow my account on Blue Sky, but like there's a reason why things are called acts of terrorism, and where things are just like a regular, like a mass shooting. And there are certain criteria that must be in place for it to be considered terrorism. The number one thing is intention, and it is usually politically motivated, not Democrats versus Republicans, but politically motivated. And so that is why you call things terrorism. And when the FBI came out right away and said it was an act of terrorism, that's because they already knew. They already knew that right away. And so we can't just call things that happen against a large group of people terrorist acts. If it is a violent act, yes, but it is not always terrorism. So just keep that in mind when we call something an act of terrorism. People are using it to make a political point. They don't have targeted people. And so one person put the DC sniper and said that that was an act of terrorism. No, it wasn't. It was not. It was not politically motivated. And the DC sniper had a target. It was his ex wife. He wanted to make it look like his ex wife got caught up in a killing spree. And so he's a sociopath, a psychopath, and he wanted to make that look. That is not a terrorist. Oklahoma City bomber is absolutely a terrorist.
Mhm.
That was an act against the government of the United States. The Unabomber was absolutely a terrorist. That was an act against the United States. And so when you looked, we just keep in mind that. So this was scary that it was a terrorist attack, because that person intended to harm hundreds of people.
Mhm.
Those bombs were going to harm hundreds of people.
Mhm.
They did not go off, but if they had gone off, we're talking about a much higher death toll. And that is a much more serious situation for a highly concentrated tourist area like Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So I hope that people get things under control. But I think that you, instead of trying to stop things, I think you need to go to the root of why people, homegrown Americans, are being radicalized in this way, and they're causing harm to people who are oftentimes the poor and disadvantaged people, which you're causing the harm to.
Yeah.
So we need to do a better job of protect. And when I mean we, I mean y'all need to do a better job. Y'all, as in this government, needs to do a better job protecting the citizens from the radicalization that's happening right here.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. Again, I mean, my prayers as well are to the families affected by this sensible act of terrorism. And I just want to remind people that please don't you lose sight of humanity because people want to politicize everything. People did die, and yes, while it matters about what happened in the background of what's going on, we can't lose sight of those
Hmm.
lives that have been lost and just treat it as just another
Another
political
thing, I
stunt.
know it's
If
not.
their lives matter to somebody, and we can't lose sight of that, or else we lose sight of humanity. So
Absolutely.
um we wanted to extend our condolences to all of the families affected, and hopefully, we can continue to enjoy places like New Orleans, Las Vegas, where the Cybertruck went off, and other
Mhm.
places that we can enjoy without harm or without fear. So, with that said, we want to thank you all for listening to the podcast. Again, we hope that you had a safe holiday. We'll be back next week to talk NFL and college football playoffs. So, we'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Later.